Cholesterol-smart eating is simpler than it sounds, and the payoff is real in energy, mood, and heart health. We'll break down LDL, HDL, and ApoB in plain terms. LDL is the cholesterol that tends to creep into arteries. HDL helps clear it away, and ApoB is a count of the harmful cholesterol particles in your blood. Fiber and unsaturated fats take center stage, with plant sterols offering a little extra help by blocking cholesterol absorption, and pulses, beans, lentils, chickpeas delivering fiber and protein in one tasty scoop. Dietary cholesterol isn't the sole villain either. What matters more is your overall pattern. How much saturated fat you eat, how often you reach for refined grains, and the balance you build across meals. Easy swaps and cooking methods keep this doable every day. Swap butter for olive oil, choose avocado and nuts as snacks, and pile beans and lentils into soups, stews, and salads. Include plant sterol fortified spreads if you like them, and aim for unsaturated fats as your default fat source. Quick kitchen habits help too. Bake, grill, steam, or saute in olive oil, batch cook beans, and roast a tray of vegetables to mix through the week. Day plan to make it tangible. Breakfast, steel-cut oats with berries, a sprinkle of chia, and a dollop of almond butter. Lunch, a lentil and veggie bowl with greens, tomatoes, cucumber, and an olive oil, lemon dressing. Add a slice of whole grain bread if you want. Snack, an apple with a small handful of walnuts. Dinner, baked salmon or a chickpea patty with quinoa and roasted broccoli, finished with a drizzle of olive oil. If you crave something sweet, a small square of dark chocolate with a few more almonds rounds things out. Good versus bad cholesterol basics. Low-density lipoprotein, or LDL, carries cholesterol from the liver to tissues and can contribute to plaque buildup in arteries when levels stay high. High-density lipoprotein, or HDL, tends to move cholesterol in the opposite direction, helping to clear cholesterol from circulation. ApoB is a protein on the surface of most atherogenic particles, including LDL and VLDL, so the number of ApoB-containing particles reflects how many cholesterol-carrying particles are in your blood. In practice, many clinicians use ApoB as a straightforward marker because it tracks the quantity of potentially harmful particles rather than just the cholesterol each particle carries. For most people, that particle count matters as much as the total LDL number, and that nuance becomes useful when tailoring dietary choices. LDL is the primary target when thinking about bad cholesterol, but HDL's role is protective, and HDL levels can vary with genetics, activity, and overall diet. ApoB helps describe risk independently of HDL and LDL measurements because it signals how many particles are circulating, not only how much cholesterol they deliver. In simple terms, fewer atherogenic particles usually translate to lower risk, while more particles mean more opportunities for cholesterol to deposit where it doesn't belong. Understanding these basics helps you focus on the foods and patterns that influence not just cholesterol numbers, but the particles behind them. It's about shifting the balance toward fewer harmful particles and more protective ones. A practical emphasis is on fiber and unsaturated fats. Soluble fiber, found in oats, barley, beans, and many fruits, binds bile acids in the gut and nudges the liver to use cholesterol to synthesize more bile. The result can be lower LDL in the bloodstream over time. Include a variety of fiber sources, and you'll also feel fuller after meals, which supports steady eating patterns. Unsaturated fats, especially from olive oil, avocados, nuts, and seeds, replace saturated fats in meals and tend to improve the overall lipid profile for many people. Fatty fish, such as salmon or mackerel, plus plant-based fats like flaxseed and walnuts, provide polyunsaturated fats that support heart-friendly cholesterol balance. When you swap out butter or cream for olive oil or mashed avocado, you change the fat landscape without sacrificing flavor. Dietary cholesterol is not the sole driver for everyone, and its impact varies. For many people, the pattern of fat intake and the amount of refined carbs matter more for LDL and ApoB than the cholesterol content of individual foods. Plant sterols and stanols can help by blocking intestinal absorption of cholesterol, so foods containing these compounds, such as certain fortified spreads or yogurts, can contribute to lower LDL when eaten regularly. Pulses, beans, lentils, chickpeas provide fiber and plant protein without heaviness, and they help reduce the reliance on meat for protein. A meal plan built around pulses and fiber, with a focus on unsaturated fats, tends to support healthier particle profiles without moralizing about any single ingredient. Simple swaps and cooking methods make the shift achievable. Use olive oil or canola oil instead of butter for cooking and finishing veggies. Swap red meat for beans or lentils several times a week, and enjoy fatty fish a couple times weekly. Add oats, apples, and a handful of nuts for breakfast and snacks to boost soluble fiber and healthy fats. Sprinkle ground flaxseed into yogurt, smoothies, or hot cereal for extra fiber and omega-3 type fats. Include pulses in soups, stews, and salads, and experiment with herbs and spices to keep meals flavorful without relying on saturated fats. If you enjoy products fortified with plant sterols, use them as directed to complement your everyday meals, not as a single solution. Day plan. Practical example you can try or adapt. Start with a bowl of warm oats topped with berries and a spoonful of ground flaxseed, plus a small handful of almonds. For lunch, make a lentil and veggie bowl with quinoa and a light olive oil, lemon dressing, adding a side salad with leafy greens. Have a mid-afternoon snack of sliced apple and a smear of almond butter. Dinner features baked salmon, roasted broccoli, and a portion of quinoa or brown rice, with extra mixed vegetables on the side. If you want a quick boost of sterols, choose a fortified spread for whole grain toast at breakfast or a yogurt fortified with plant sterols as a snack. Throughout the day, hydrate with water and unsweetened beverages and listen to your hunger and fullness cues. Fiber that traps cholesterol. Fiber that traps cholesterol works primarily in the gut by binding bile acids. Soluble fibers, such as those found in oats, barley, psyllium, beans, lentils, and many fruits, form a gel that slows digestion and helps move cholesterol-derived bile acids out of the body. When bile acids are excreted instead of reabsorbed, the liver pulls more cholesterol from the blood to make new bile acids, which lowers LDL cholesterol in many people. The effect grows with consistent, daily intake rather than occasional spikes, and it tends to be more pronounced when fiber comes from a variety of real foods rather than supplements alone. Low-density lipoprotein, LDL, carries cholesterol through the bloodstream and can contribute to artery buildup when levels stay high. High-density lipoprotein, HDL, is often called good cholesterol because it helps remove cholesterol from circulation. Apolipoprotein B, or ApoB, is a protein present on most cholesterol-carrying particles. It serves as a useful proxy for the number of atherogenic particles in the blood. In practical terms, many people see benefits when LDL and ApoB stay lower, while HDL remains in a healthy range, achieved through fiber-rich foods and unsaturated fats. Centering fiber and unsaturated fats creates a steady foundation for cholesterol-friendly eating. Soluble fiber slows digestion and binds cholesterol in the gut, while unsaturated fats, monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats found in olive oil, avocado, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish, help replace saturated fats and support favorable blood lipid profiles. The dietary cholesterol question is nuanced but often less dramatic than many assume. For most people, the impact of dietary cholesterol on blood LDL is modest compared to the benefits of fiber and healthy fats. Plant sterols and stanols add another layer. Around 1.5 to 2 grams per day can further reduce LDL by roughly up to about a 10% of decrease when part of a heart-healthy pattern. They work by partially blocking cholesterol absorption in the intestine, and fortified foods like certain spreads, yogurts, and beverages can help you reach that target. Pulses, chickpeas, lentils, beans are excellent sources of soluble fiber and plant protein, making them a practical backbone for meals that support lower LDL without sacrificing fullness or flavor. Easy swaps and cooking methods keep fiber and healthy fats front and center without turning meals into a chore. Swap refined grains for oats, barley, quinoa, or bulgur. Start the day with a bowl of oats topped with berries and a spoon of ground flaxseed. Replace butter or full-fat dairy fats with olive oil or avocado oil when cooking. Drizzle nuts over salads for texture and fat quality. Add beans or lentils to soups, stews, or chilies, or blend them into veggie burgers for extra fiber and protein. Snack on fruit with a handful of almonds, or enjoy yogurt fortified with plant sterols if you like fortified options. Steam or roast vegetables to preserve their fiber content, and include a serving of fatty fish a few times a week to boost omega-3 intake. If you don't consume fish, consider plant-based sources such as walnuts or flax seeds to approximate the unsaturated fat benefits. A practical day plan that centers fiber and unsaturated fats. Breakfast: oats cooked in milk or a plant-based milk, topped with sliced apple, chia seeds, and a handful of walnuts. A side of berries adds extra soluble fiber. Mid-morning snack: an orange or pear with a small serving of almonds, plus a psyllium-enriched smoothie if you like. Lunch: a big bean and vegetable salad with quinoa or barley, dressed with olive oil and lemon, plus a side of steamed greens. Afternoon snack: carrot sticks with hummus or a bean-based dip, or a fortified yogurt with plant sterols if that suits your routine. Dinner: lentil soup or chickpea curry with plenty of vegetables, served over brown rice or whole grain couscous. A side of roasted or sautéed leafy greens. Beverages: water most of the day. Consider a fortified spread or yogurt a few times a week to introduce plant sterols, if your diet includes fortified products. General approach: aim to include soluble fiber at each main meal, swap saturated fats for unsaturated fats, and keep a variety of pulses on hand to maintain fiber intake and appetite satisfaction. If you want, first can tailor this to your pantry and preferences and help build a week of meals around these fiber-rich, LDL-friendly ideas. Fats to eat and skip. Fats that support cholesterol-friendly eating come mainly from unsaturated fats and fiber-rich foods. LDL is the form of cholesterol most often linked to plaque buildup in arteries. HDL helps shuttle cholesterol away from the arteries and toward the liver for disposal. ApoB counts the actual number of cholesterol-containing particles in the blood, and for many people a higher ApoB means more particles that can contribute to a buildup. Soluble fiber lowers LDL by binding bile acids and cholesterol in the gut, which helps remove cholesterol from circulation. Plant sterols and stanols compete with cholesterol for absorption, giving an extra nudge toward lower LDL when eaten regularly. Pulses, beans, lentils, and chickpeas deliver fiber, plant protein, and heart-friendly nutrients in one convenient package. Fats to eat include olive oil for dressings and sautéing, which provides monounsaturated fats that can improve cholesterol ratios. Avocado adds creamy texture with mostly unsaturated fats and fiber when eaten with meals. Nuts such as almonds, walnuts, and pistachios offer healthy fats, protein, and fiber, and they can curb hunger without spiking cholesterol if portions stay reasonable. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines supply omega-3 fats that support heart health and often help reduce triglycerides. Seeds such as flax, chia, and hemp bring alpha-linolenic acid and soluble fiber. Ground flax in smoothies or yogurt is a simple hack. Choose low-fat dairy or yogurt options to keep saturated fat in check while still enjoying flavor and protein. Eggs can be part of a cholesterol-aware pattern for many people, especially when paired with vegetables and fiber-rich sides. If still worried, consider omega-3 enriched eggs occasionally. Fats to skip include most trans fats and highly processed fats found in some baked goods, restaurants, and fried foods. Limit saturated fats by choosing lean meats, skinless poultry, and low-fat dairy. Coconut oil and palm oil are high in saturated fats, so use them sparingly. Avoid full-fat cheeses, butter, and cream on a daily basis when possible, and read labels for hidden sources of saturated fat in prepared foods. Dietary cholesterol from eggs and shellfish can be included in moderation, but individual responses vary. If you have a known sensitivity or family history of high cholesterol, you may wish to monitor intake and adjust over time. Trans fats, even in small amounts, have a direct impact on heart health, so steer clear of partially hydrogenated oils and foods whenever you can. Easy swaps and cooking methods make this approach practical. Swap butter for olive oil when finishing vegetables or sautéing proteins, and drizzle olive oil over salads for flavor plus heart-friendly fats. Replace mayo with mashed avocado or yogurt-based spreads to cut saturated fat while keeping creaminess. Use beans and lentils to bulk up burgers, wraps, and bowls so you get more fiber and protein with less saturated fat. Build meals around vegetables, pulses, whole grains, and a handful of nuts or seeds for balanced nutrition. Bake, grill, or steam rather than fry. And consider air frying smaller portions of homemade dishes to save fat without sacrificing flavor. When you cook with fish, aim for at least a couple of servings weekly to boost omega-3 intake. If you enjoy fortified options, plant-sterol enriched spreads or yogurts can provide a helpful extra step toward LDL control. A practical day plan that fits these principles starts with a bowl of oats topped with berries, a spoon of ground flax, and a splash of yogurt or milk. Lunch features a large salad with mixed greens, chickpeas, cucumber, tomatoes, avocado, and olive oil, lemon dressing. A mid-afternoon snack pairs an apple with a handful of walnuts. Dinner centers on baked salmon, quinoa, and roasted vegetables with a glaze of olive oil and herbs. Throughout the day, pulses and fiber-rich foods stay front and center, while unsaturated fats replace saturated fats in most meals. If you crave something warm after dinner, a cup of herbal tea with a small square of dark chocolate and a few almonds can satisfy the urge without undoing the day's plan. This approach keeps meals flavorful, satisfying, and aligned with cholesterol-friendly goals. Power foods for numbers. LDL carries cholesterol in the blood to tissues, including arteries, where it can contribute to buildup, while HDL helps return cholesterol toward the liver for disposal. And ApoB is a protein present on most LDL particles that makes the particle count easier to track than cholesterol alone. For most people, fiber and unsaturated fats are the main levers. Dietary cholesterol itself matters less than how some foods influence LDL and HDL. Those sensitive individuals may see shifts when they consume cholesterol-rich foods. Plant sterols block cholesterol absorption in the intestine. Pulses, oats, fruits, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish all play a role, with fiber and unsaturated fats taking center stage. Soluble fiber from oats, barley, beans, and some fruits binds bile acids in the gut, nudging the liver to use more cholesterol to make new bile, which can help lower LDL. Unhealthy fats raise risk. Healthy fats help. Healthy fats come from olive oil, canola oil, avocados, and a handful of nuts and seeds. They replace saturated fats and raise HDL modestly, while also improving the ratio of ApoB-containing particles to total cholesterol. Plant sterols are found naturally in nuts and seeds and are added to some fortified spreads. Pulses shine because they are rich in both fiber and plant protein, and they help displace higher fat meats in meals while delivering steadier energy with less cholesterol impact. Examples include beans, lentils, chickpeas. Swap butter or cream sauces for olive oil-based dressings and cooking liquids, which lowers saturated fat while boosting flavor. Keep a can of chickpeas or lentils handy for quick bowls. Grill or bake salmon a couple of times a week, and use canned sardines or mackerel to add long-chain omega-3 fats without much effort. Add avocado slices to salads for creaminess. Toss whole grains like oats, quinoa, or barley into soups and stews to up fiber without sacrificing texture. Snack on almonds, walnuts, or pistachios in moderate portions. Boost fiber with berries, apples, pears, and citrus to keep meals satisfying and to gently lower LDL. Here is a practical day plan you can try. Breakfast includes overnight oats with rolled oats, chia seeds, and berries, plus a spoon of chopped nuts. Lunch features lentil soup with vegetables and a slice of whole grain bread. Snack features an apple with a small handful of almonds, or carrots with hummus for a pulse-rich dip. Dinner offers baked salmon or sardines with quinoa and roasted broccoli. Evening yogurt with flaxseed and a drizzle of olive oil over a fruit salad finishes the day with soluble fiber and healthy fats. Easy breakfast to dinner plan. Cholesterol in the blood moves around in particles, so understanding the basics helps with everyday choices. LDL, the low-density lipoprotein, tends to carry cholesterol into artery walls, which is why it's often labeled the bad part of the story. HDL, the high-density lipoprotein, acts somewhat like a recycling helper, carrying cholesterol back to the liver for disposal. ApoB is a protein found on the surface of most atherogenic particles, so a higher ApoB number can mean more of those danger particles are circulating. In practical terms, a low-stress, effective approach focuses on fewer dangerous particles and more protective fat patterns, rather than chasing perfect numbers. The message is simple. Food quality matters more than a single nutrient target. Fiber and unsaturated fats are the real workhorses here. Soluble fiber from oats, barley, beans, lentils, apples, and citrus can help lower LDL without sacrificing fullness. Unsaturated fats from olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish improve the lipid profile by shifting the fat balance toward the healthier side. Plant sterols, found in some fortified spreads and yogurts, can reduce the absorption of dietary cholesterol and modestly lower LDL when consumed regularly. Pulses bring both fiber and plant-based protein to the table, making meals satisfying while supporting heart health. It's worth noting that dietary cholesterol in foods like eggs can have a modest effect on some people, but the overall pattern, more fiber, more unsaturated fats, more plants, drives the best results. Easy swaps and cooking methods keep this approach practical. Swap butter or heavy cream for olive oil or avocado as a cooking fat, and favor grilling, baking, steaming, or sautéing with small amounts of oil rather than deep frying. For breakfast, try overnight oats with rolled oats, chia or flax seeds, and berries, or a veggie omelet with spinach and tomatoes wrapped in a whole grain tortilla. Lunch can be a lentil or bean-based bowl with greens, tomatoes, cucumber, and a lemon olive oil dressing, or a whole grain wrap with hummus and roasted vegetables. Dinners can feature salmon or another fatty fish, a quinoa or brown rice side, and a platter of roasted vegetables or a chickpea curry with brown rice. Keep pulses as a staple at least a couple of meals each day and season with herbs, lemon zest, garlic, and ginger to boost flavor without relying on saturated fats. A practical day plan to put this into motion starts with a nourishing breakfast of overnight oats stirred with chia and a handful of berries, plus a splash of almond milk. If you prefer options, a spinach tater omelet with whole grain toast also fits nicely. A mid-morning snack of an apple and a small handful of almonds keeps energy steady. For lunch, assemble a lentil salad with mixed greens, cucumber, tomatoes, red onion, and an olive oil, lemon dressing, or choose a bean and vegetable bowl with quinoa. An afternoon snack of carrot sticks with hummus offers fiber and plant-based protein. Dinner could be a grilled salmon fillet with quinoa and steamed broccoli, or a hearty chickpea and vegetable curry served with brown rice. If you want a sterol boost, include a fortified yogurt or spread that provides about 1-2 g of plant sterols per serving. This approach keeps fiber high, fats from unsaturated sources prominent, and pulses present at multiple meals, making cholesterol-friendly eating feel doable from first bite to last. Here's the quick recap. LDL is the lousy cholesterol that can build up in arteries. HDL is the good cholesterol that helps remove others. And ApoB is the protein that marks how many cholesterol-carrying particles are out there. You don't need to chase perfect numbers. Focus on the patterns that matter. More fiber, more unsaturated fats, and less overall inflammatory foods. Dietary cholesterol matters less for most people than the way fats and fiber balance out in your day. Plant sterols can help block cholesterol absorption, and pulses, beans, lentils, and peas give you fiber and protein with plenty of flavor. Center your meals on fiber-rich foods, healthy fats, and plant-based proteins, while enjoying foods you love in balanced portions. If you're wondering how this looks in real life, here's the practical approach. Swap saturated fats for unsaturated fats, olive oil, avocado, nuts, fatty fish. Add fiber at every meal, vegetables, whole grains, beans, fruit, and include pulses a few times a week. You don't have to fear dietary cholesterol. Many foods that contain cholesterol, like eggs or shellfish, can fit in a cholesterol-friendly pattern when your overall diet centers on plants and healthy fat. Plant sterols are a handy extra, found in some fortified spreads and yogurts, so keep an eye on labels if you want to boost their intake. Pulses are your reliable go-to for fiber, protein, and fullness with minimal hunger later. Easy swaps and cooking methods you can use starting today. Swap butter or lard for extra virgin olive oil or canola oil. Swap red meat for beans or lentils a few times a week. Choose fatty fish like salmon or sardines a couple of times weekly. Snack on nuts, fruit, or veggie sticks with hummus. Choose whole grains such as oats, quinoa, or barley instead of refined grains. Cooking methods that shine. Grill, bake, steam, or sauté with a light olive oil. Load plates with colorful vegetables. Season with herbs, garlic, lemon, and spices to keep flavor high and fat low. A simple day plan to try. Start with overnight oats topped with berries and a handful of walnuts for fiber and healthy fats. Mid-morning, have an apple with a small handful of almonds. Lunch could be a lentil salad with lots of veggies and an olive oil, base dressing, plus a side of whole grain bread. Snack on carrot sticks with hummus. Dinner might be baked salmon or sardines, a serving of quinoa or brown rice, and roasted broccoli or Brussels sprouts tossed with olive oil. If you want something sweet, choose plain yogurt with berries or sliced fruit. Hydration with water or unsweetened beverages throughout the day rounds it out. If you found this helpful, tap like, subscribe, and drop a comment with your favorite swap or a question you want tackled next. First, I'll be reading every comment and weaving your ideas into future videos. First, VE got more coming on meal prep, grocery shopping on a cholesterol-friendly plan, and deeper dives into foods that support heart health, including more recipes you can remix for your week. Stay tuned, and thanks for watching. You've got this, and first, I'm glad you're here.